Yo, what's up, guys? A question that has been asked many times. Should you feed away your Lian? And what do I mean by feeding away? Well, you do have these events of reconfigure. I already did 4 of them. Maybe I did a little bit too much, but then again, it's the beta. You can toy around with stuff and just feed something and then use it somewhere else or something like that. There's only 11 hours remaining on this. I thought it was running all the way until the end of the beta, but there's only 11 hours. So the moment that I upload this, it's maybe just like 9 or 8 hours or something like that. Because, well, the main question is, you have to do it or should you not do it? Well, I actually did do it for the Lian. And why do I think that doing it for the Lian wasn't that bad? Well, first of all, I used my Lian for skill ups. So I had the skill up material in there, which is maybe a little bit of a waste if I'm not really using it. Then again, the counter argument is that a lot of people would say is like, yeah, but you're gonna need Lian for certain content. So, and the main content where you would use her is Terramaton. She's absolutely one of the best damage dealers in here, but there are a few replacements for it as well. Other places where you do have to use it is in the Ethernet rally. And Ethernet rally is an interesting one. And I'm actually not 100% sure, maybe someone can let me know in the comments, if this rotation is always the same, because sure, you do have to use fire units. For example, over here, I use fire units, but I'm also allowed to use a Messiah. I'm also allowed to use Hellkit, or not Hellkit, Heinrich. So there's definitely options that I could replace the Lian if you do have a damage dealer that is doing something else for it. But I'm not sure because most of the time, like this one is then fire and then the 2 light and dark. And this one is the, it kind of depends like which one is overlapping in here. But if you have a light and a dark damage dealer, such as in my case, Messiah and Heinrich, yes, I wasted all of my good RNG on this one already, then definitely, yes, you can reset your Lian. I think that's the main thing. If you have a good replacement, in my case, I do have a Messiah, and with the Messiah, you have a good replacement for your Lian, because Messiah you can use as damage dealer everywhere. It's good in Doki Doki, it's good in Aurora, it's good in like legit everything. It's good for Terramaton. You can always use it. Sure, is Lian still slightly bit better in Terramaton? Yeah, most likely. Is Lian also better if you go for full CC fight where you permanently don't want the enemy to give any turns? Yeah, Lian is going to be better. But in all of the other cases, or in a lot of other cases, Messiah will do totally fine or even better. So definitely if it's one of those units like, hey, do you have a Messiah? Do you have a good replacement? Then that is something you can actually replace for. And as mentioned, you only have about 4 hours, 4 hours. You have about 8 hours left on this the moment I do upload this video, hopefully. It does cost you a little bit of Hydra crystals, but I would actually recommend to do this even if you don't have a good replacement, because probably by now you have pulled more units that you haven't really been using yet. For example, I got a Mia, I haven't really been using. I got a real Mochi, haven't really been using. And since it is the beta, and this is the only way to get pretty much a lot of resources to try another unit, maybe this is your moment where you would say it's like, especially a Lian, because I think everyone probably did both the Lian for 6-star, the Lian, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. Or maybe you have another unit that you're like, okay, it's kind of cool, but I should give a try to another unit in this beta. Would I recommend to also do that for the main game? Well, not really. Or for the real release, not really. Then you maybe want to have a better route. But it might give you a better understanding of certain characters or a certain route that you do want to do if you're using that event right now. And as mentioned, not that many time left on it, but I would actually highly recommend to just use a few if you haven't used any, of just trying out different units. It might completely mess up your whole account and your whole thing. Well, then you know what not to do. But then you also do know it's like, okay, let's say on the real release, I do pull unit X or Y. I can put it in the storage. I'm not going to build it anytime soon. Or maybe if you pull it, you're like, yo, wait, this is actually that good. Maybe I should be using that from the start. Or maybe instead of the Tiamat, I should actually be going for a completely different unit because I get something like this and it actually works way better, or I think it's just way cooler. And there's a whole bunch of units out there that might actually give like, that are kind of new. For example, the Real Macha's kind of new. The Borne is pretty new. Suiko, or whatever her name is. The Mi is very easy. Mi is new, but that's maybe one that you can't really do as like core kind of unit, but core damage. Rosa, if you pull the Rosa later on, is definitely one of those units that you might have a look at like, okay, how much can she do? Because she's actually really good. So yeah, I think like if you have Real Machi, Borne, Rosa, or any of the light and dark units that you actually might give a try. It's like, hey, let's just see how good they are. That is my recommendation, where I would say is like, hey, let's maybe use that event and just reset a few units. Because in the end, it's beta. The beta is going to end in like 4 or 5 days regardless. Anyways, might as well make use of it. Guys, that's all for this video. It's going to be just a short one. Tomorrow I'm going to have videos on a meta team or teams that I do think are good for the first farming on Terramaton and also Doki Doki. But that is going to be the video of tomorrow. If you like this kind of stuff, smack that like button, hit the subscribe button, and see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.